You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to Living Full Out Show. My name is Nancy Solari, and today we're going to be talking about how to balance life. Oh, just hearing those words just makes me feel calm. Who doesn't want that? How do we get that? Because every day, those unknown, those unexpected curveballs are going to come our way. How do we tackle them? How do we manage them? How do we live full out despite them? Well, stay tuned. We're going to be taking your questions. Again, that number is 800-333-0001. Also, we're going to be welcoming our inspirational guest, Michael Veltri, in our next segment. And he's going to be talking about how he overcame testicular cancer. And honestly, his story is inspiring, not just in how he managed chemo and kind of got through the dark days, but how he came out a better version of himself at the end, and how he's cancer-free even today. So you don't want to miss his story. It's really empowering. Also, we want to hear from you. If you need resources on today's show, reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. Again, that's connect@livingfullout.com. We want to make sure that you stay motivated, but yet supported. Also, if you have an inspirational story, we would love to hear from you and possibly have you as a guest. Again, connect@livingfullout.com to let us know your story. Now, I'm getting a word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. Let's go ahead and say hello to them and see how we can help. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi. So I was looking for some advice. I'm a college student currently, but before I went to college, I've been really set on a goal. Like I was going to go throughout the 4 years, hopefully have a job. But now that I'm in college, I'm kind of feeling a little lost, and I feel kind of like not as motivated as I usually am. And
what was the career that you? Scary. What was the career that you strived for in the beginning? What was that?
Business, marketing, and I kind of went for it because my cousin, she was like, it's a great option. You have so many choices, but it just doesn't feel like the right fit for me.
Do you want to know something? I'll tell you a secret. Many other people have been where you are. Now, I'm not saying that the parents, the cousins, the aunts, the uncles, they can't all be useful and helpful in giving us ideas of potential careers when you're starting college. But sometimes, if you admire a cousin, if they're successful, and if you take their word as, well, they know what they're doing, it must be a good career, then it's easy to be led. And what I want you to have comfort in is that you are not alone. Okay, really. So many people change their majors in college. Maybe because they got into it thinking it's what they wanted to do, and as they started doing the coursework, they're like, I hate this. Or maybe they did an internship and they found another passion that they loved even more, and then they switched gears. So don't be afraid to make a change. Don't feel as if you're locked in. Even if I look at my own family, my aunt, she got her major in history. Today, she's a dentist. Okay?
Oh, wow.
So don't feel like if you graduate with one degree that you're locked into that. And maybe that's what your cousin was trying to tell you, that you do have options beyond business management. And what I want you to do, what I encourage you to do, is do some Google searches online. There's quite a few different career, like testing and surveys you can do. It's kind of like online dating. You kind of put in answers to different questions that tap into your passions and your interests. And what they will do, these career surveys, is they will pop out different professions that match that passion, that interest. So you might look into doing that. I would also encourage you to do internships that follow your passion. So even if your degree is in business, go ahead and do an internship that has to relate to psychology, right? Because getting to know people and connecting with people, no harm in that. Go ahead and take on an internship that deals with social media or public relations that hones your writing skills. That would help you as well. You just want to diversify yourself. Is that something you can do?
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. Thank you.
Absolutely. And most of all, do you believe in yourself that you'll be successful?
Yeah, I do.
And why do you think you'll be successful? Regardless of the major, why do you think you'll be successful?
I mean, I think I'm a pretty positive and persistent person.
Mm-hmm. And and that's not dependent on what your major is, right? And what were you going to say?
Right.
You think that?
I think that, like, I mean, it's true. Like, I can definitely take into account, like, searching other areas as well within that.
Absolutely. Just like I said, don't feel like you're trapped or locked in. Just go for it. That's part of life. And let it wash over you, because nobody really graduates and gets their dream career. You'll probably have that in the next 5 years, 10 years. So just have fun. That's the main thing.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
I feel a lot better.
Well, good. Thank you for calling in, and we'll wish you all the best.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You got it. I love that she asked that question, because when we're looking to balance life, right, there's so many things that can come into our day that are unexpected, or sometimes people can put expectations on us that are not in alignment with who we feel we are at the core. So always remember that you are the captain of your own ship, okay? You can steer it in whatever direction you want, and I mean that sincerely. Now, we all heard about these cruise ships that have gone, on land or hit rocks or hit icebergs. So even that is possible in our everyday life, that something could happen. And when that happens, that's when you have to look inside yourself, which is why I asked that last caller what she felt her positive qualities were, because the answer will always be inside you. That's the good news. Now, it may seem a little bit scary, to design your life. And how do I do that when I don't even know what I want? If we take the philosophy that the answers are inside you, then what you want to do is take time to explore that. So, for example, recently I was preparing for a speaking engagement I have coming up next week. And it's a full day event. So I asked different people in my life, and it was kind of an awkward question when I first asked them. I said, can you give me 3 qualities that you would say to describe me? Just instant knee-jerk reaction. And people said, well, loyal, determined, motivating, fearless. And what I encourage you to do is ask some people in your life, what would be 3 words that you would say to describe me? Let people tell you what those are. You might also ask them, when you come to me, why do you come to me? Am I somebody that is a good listener? Am I somebody that you come to for technical support? Why do you come to me for various needs in your life? And let them answer. You might also ask them, what have I ever done that you can remember that was motivating, inspiring? How have I impacted your life? That might be a question. And my final question I want to give to you that you could ask them is, when you think about my gifts and talents and how I could support or assist other people, how do you see myself doing that? So there's 4 questions that you could ask people. And when you get the answers, you're going to get a lot of insight to how people see you. Maybe gifts and talents that you don't even know, that you just don't know, right? So there's this saying that we've all heard about it. You don't know what you don't know. I want you to push that aside and start getting answers to what you don't know. And you start with asking. When you take in that information from those people, it's going to stir things up. They're going to give you a lot of data, but it's also going to start to bring balance into your life, because now you have options. Nothing is more scary than thinking that you're trapped, that you can't open a door, that you can't crawl through a window. It isn't because you're trying to escape your life. It's just because life is meant to be lived. We're meant to have options. You want to experience all that life has to offer. But sometimes you have to be the one to open your own door. Don't wait for other people to open it for you. The risk and the concern for a lot of people is, what if it's locked? What if it won't open? But what if it will? So you want to get yourself out of the what if game. So I encourage you to open that door. Email, call people, ask those 4 questions, and then from there, look for areas in your life that you can personally grow within the realm of what people know that you're good at, what you enjoy doing. And that can wash over to hobbies. Now you might explore things that you've been putting off or you didn't know that might be fun for you to do, adventurous or crafting, or, I like the karaoke. I want to play guitar, different things that would bring you joy. You might take that information and let it spiral into the relationships that you want in your life. Do you want to get married? Do you not? Do you want to just build a friend network? What does that look like? The beauty of life is that it is built over time. Don't feel like you have to have it all done today. Rome wasn't even built in a day, right? Just let life wash over you. Experience, open those doors, walk through them, ask questions. That's what it means to bring balance into your life and to live full out. And when you do that, I know you're going to find so many great things ahead of you. You just have to put yourself out there. May seem courageous, may seem like you're being determined, but I want you to do that because all I want for you is to live full out, have balance in your life, and know that you're living on purpose. And that can all be achieved when you take those risks. And they're not even risks if you're living full out. We're going to be right back after this break. I'm Nancy Solari. This is Living Full Out. Stay tuned.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I liked kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm gonna return the kayak. Just make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Don't you wish that getting your child to eat right, move more, and spend less time in front of a screen could be as easy as pushing a button? It might not be that simple, but you do have more power than you know. And you can maximize that power with proven strategies, tips, and tools from the National Institutes of Health's We Can, or Ways to Enhance Children's Activity and Nutrition program. We Can offers all kinds of resources, including fun recipes and activities the family can do together to show you the way to live a healthier lifestyle. We're not saying it's easy. We are saying that it can be done. Take the first step today. Call 1-866-359-3226 for a free We Can Parents Handbook. And be sure to visit the We Can website at wecan.nhlbi.nih.gov for free information too. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And then
nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite. Look out! And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. With Nancy's expertise, you'll learn how to embrace your potential and strive for success. If you have a question or need further support, send us an email at connect@livingfullout.com. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about balancing life. And when everything goes chaotic in our life, how do we do that? It might be faith, it might be support of others, it might be our own determination and will. Now, our inspirational guest today, Michael Veltri, is no stranger to needing to find balance in life. He has tackled cancer multiple times in his life. Yet, through the support of others, his own focus, hope, drive, whatever you want to call it, got him through. So I want to welcome him to the show so he can share his inspirational story with us. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Nancy. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I didn't want to give your whole story away because, honestly, it's usually told by the person. That would be you. But I got to tell you, from the minute I met you, boy, cancer must have been intimidated by you. You are something special.
Well, thank you very much.
Cancer picked on the wrong man, and our audience will understand that as we share your story. So can you take us back in time to when you first noticed that you had a lump? That's usually how it starts when we identify that cancer might be in our body.
Yeah, so I was 34 years old and ironically had never been sick a day in my life and was very attuned to my body as an athlete. And, I found the mystery lump, and we never want to find any mystery lump. So as it turns out, I had testicular cancer, and men, like women, are supposed to, check themselves for lumps periodically. And there was no pain or like large size, Nancy. It just, that little tingling on the back of your neck when I felt this hard spot on my right testicle that just told me deep down, hey, something is really, really not right here. And, that was the beginning of my journey, and I really didn't know what to do at that point. And so I waited. I waited like a week thinking, I don't know, maybe it's a hernia. I twisted something. What's going on down here? And so I waited, and it stayed the same. And then I did make an appointment to go see a urologist who, I went in to see him, and he knew what it was immediately. I was talking to him, and, with it less than 24 hours later, I was having emergency surgery to remove my right testicle.
Well, and I can only imagine the amount of emotions going through. Obviously, somewhat of denial, hoping that it's not what you think it might be. But then when you hear those words, cancer, and there's a group of all of you who have been in that place and time, what happens when those words are told to you? Is that just a game changer overnight?
Yes and no. And this is what I mean by that. And this is what helped me, and hopefully some of your listeners that are dealing with this or family members can help get through it too. For me, it was tough. I was 34 and I have my parents, to believe it or not, the toughest thing was breaking the news to my parents. I'm now a father myself, and no parent should outlive their child. So, having to explain this to my parents, this was all news to me. But what happened to me, Nancy, was, and I'm coming this also from my time in the Marine Corps. I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps, and what I learned in the Marine Corps is this indomitable spirit, this chance to thrive and overcome adversity, no matter what the odds are, no matter what you're faced with. You never retreat, you never surrender. And so when I was told that I had cancer, for me, it wasn't a woe is me, or I felt sorry for myself. All I thought was, okay, what is the next step that I need to take to survive? Like, not 3 months down the road, 3 weeks down the road, 3 days down the road. Like, what do I have to do to get through the next 3 hours? That's one small win that I can get to move me forward. And, and that's what I did. And the next step was to get in and have emergency surgery and get through that and figure out what happens next.
And when you went in for this emergency surgery, it was same day. You were in, you were out. Was it uncomfortable? And as a man, when that surgery occurred and they took one away, how did that change you? I mean, I know a lot of women, when they have a breast removed, it's a moment, right?
Well, a couple things. So, you've got to have a sense of humor, and I did. The good thing is now I was educated, right? So my urologist had told me that half of infinity is still infinity, so that the man losing one testicle, everything's fine. I'm down to one. I've got to be careful, but I can still have kids, as is evident by my lovely daughter running around now. But it is scary, right? It's down below. You don't want to get kicked there, let alone have somebody doing surgery down there. So it was same-day surgery, and believe it or not, I didn't know what to expect. I was, it's outpatient surgery. There was a little discomfort, but it was a pretty simple procedure to remove the testicle, and my prognosis was good, Nancy. I was sort of like a textbook case. The cancer was contained within the testicle. There was no spread into the lymph nodes or other organs, and at that point, often, if men catch it early, like I did, surgery is enough to have you cured. And so that's where we left it. I was passed on to my oncologist, who just simply said, we do aggressive observation, which was monthly CAT scans and blood tests, because with testicular cancer, one of the good things about it is it has tumor markers. So you can do a blood test, and it will tell you if you have cancer or not. It can't hide like some other cancers. So it was a quick surgery, not really painful, and then I was just going for my monthly CAT scans and checkups to make sure I remained cancer-free.
Well, and there must have been some excitement in you knowing, okay, I got this, I'm cured, I'm moving on. But then I imagine there's also another side of you that wonders, could it come back? And it's, can you really come away from that arms wide open, ready to gobble life up and live full out? Or are you still living in fear? Just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's two phases for me to answer that. The first way I'd answer it was immediately after the surgery. Now, I had educated myself on testicular cancer. I knew it was curable. If it came back, the cure was horrible. The chemotherapy is just brutal.
Sure.
But I was educated, and so going through for my follow-up, month 1, good to go, 2, 3, 4, I would bring friends with me that were medical doctors that would translate this. And that's one advice I give all cancer patients is, I didn't know tumor markers or platelets or all this medical terminology.
Well, and actually, Michael, you bring up a good point right there, because it is hard to navigate the waters of what the doctor is saying. Now, I want you to stay with us, Michael, because we have to go to a short commercial break. But I love where you're going, and it's keeping us all informed. And sadly, everybody knows somebody with cancer. So I want everybody to listen up, because the insights that Michael is giving us, having lived it, survived it, we want to apply that to assisting the people in our lives, to bring balance into our lives. So it's his story, but yet applicable to all of us. So we're going to be coming back right after this break. It's all about living full out, bringing balance into our life. So stay with us. I am Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show, and we'll be coming right back.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, but people in this town call me Maniac. They call me that because I'm the fastest runner in town. But just because everyone knows who I am doesn't mean I belong. I don't really belong anywhere. You see, I'm an orphan and I wander the streets just looking for a place that I can truly call home. My name is Maniac McGee and I'm all alone. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Look for the bare necessities.
The bare necessities of healthy living are easier than you think.
You better believe it.
And the food pyramid shows you the way. With just the right amount of exercise and the necessary grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meats and beans.
Just the bare necessities of life.
So eat right, be active, and have fun.
Yeah, man.
For your own path to a healthier you, visit mypyramid.gov.
This is really living.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about balancing life and how to find that peace that we need and the clarity to make the right decisions as we go along in life. And our inspirational guest today, Michael Veltri, he had to make many, many important decisions as he went through being diagnosed with cancer and coming out of it thinking, I'm cured. But as we go into the story further, Michael will explain another curveball came his way, as oftentimes cancer does. So, Michael, I'd like to welcome you back to the show.
Thank you, Nancy.
So I know you had that first surgery. It was successful. Yeah. You were textbook. Everything was kind of moving along. You were doing your follow-ups. But now I want to take our audience to the day that you got news that cancer was back.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine hearing those words again. But share with us, what were the circumstances?
So with testicular cancer, the chances of reoccurrence does happen, and typically, if it does come back, one of the most common places it reoccurs is in the lungs, and it's not lung cancer per se. It's the testicular cancer that has metastasized to the lungs, and the reason being is the cancer cells get in the blood gets pumped to the heart, then to the lungs, and when they get to the lungs, they say, hey, what a great place with a lot of oxygen for us cancer cells to grow. So, I had been 3, 4, 5 months of clean CAT scans and blood tests, and it's sort of like you said in the first half, Nancy. I had a big sigh of relief. The very first time I chose to go see my oncologist without my support friends, to help me take notes and that, I figured, I'm in the clear. My oncologist walked in and said, hey, Michael, cancer's spread to your lungs. We got to start chemotherapy. And, in retrospect, you don't want anyone beating around the bush. That's how you want it to go. And it was, I want to say it was a shock to my system, but it was not a shock that I was unprepared for, Nancy. Like, again, I was educated on what could happen. And, and it's like I said in the first part of of our interview, is all I was focused on is what is the next small step I need to do to survive.
And I can appreciate that. You and I, we fall from the same tree in that determination factor. I'd be the same way, but at the same time, I'm sure it's a scary walk, especially this being your first doctor appointment on your own. But what was the game plan?
Yeah. So, a couple things. Again, I knew that it was a cure, that it wasn't going to be remission. With the type of cancer I had, there is no remission. You either die or you don't. And so the treatment is very aggressive chemotherapy, and most chemotherapy patients will go perhaps once a week, once every 2 weeks. In my case, I went every day, Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. for 3 months. Now, you got to let that sink in. Like, that is unheard of to go through. I think what helped me out was my naivete. I had no idea about how miserable I would eventually feel, after it started going into it. So, like any good Marine, I was just focused on the mission, and the mission was beat cancer. And so, I was well prepared. My family, I had family and friends. The support structures, I cannot explain enough or emphasize how important that is. The people you have around you, and then any other systems you have to help you get through it. You cannot do this by yourself. It's so important to have others around you, and especially as the months wore on, and I was spending my time curled up in the fetal position, literally trying just to get from appointment to appointment. But you're fighting for your life. There is no choice. You go forward and you survive, and that's how I looked at it.
And how long did this torture last for? I mean, I'm going to say torture because fetal position, the pain of the cocktail you take every day. How long was that?
It was 3 months. It was 3 months. From, and then it didn't stop, Nancy. So I finished my chemotherapy in October of 2003, and we had to wait 30 days for my platelets, my blood levels, to sort of level out before I had to undergo one final surgery to be cancer-free. And this was the biggie of everything. It was I had surgery to have half of my left lung removed where those dead tumors resided. And, at age 34, that left me crippled in a wheelchair, unable to do anything. At the height of my physical prowess, like literally back to being a baby. I wasn't married at the time, so my mom came in town to take care of me, literally take care of me from everything. Everything.
Did you wonder, Michael, in that time, will I ever become who I was again, or is this it for me?
Nope.
Okay.
Never. And this is one of the things, if I can share with your audience and anyone else listening, is what is important no matter how you do it. And there's techniques. Any negative self-thought, which is so easy to slip into, feeling sorry, feeling a victim, you have to squash any and every negative self-thought, self-talk. How did this? Why me? I looked at it as why not me? 1 in 10% of white males ages 15 to 35 will get testicular cancer, and that was me. So I looked at it as why not me? Okay, I was able to get through it. So, no, Nancy, I never thought about could I give it. I knew things would be different. And in many ways, I've used that as an advantage, only having 1.5 lungs. I can't, as I get older, as we all get older, but you can't rely on brute strength. You have to rely on using your body more naturally to allow yourself to thrive differently. So squashing the negative self-talk was just so important in me and in my bringing the balance and thriving through my challenge of cancer.
Well, and you really fought back both emotionally and physically, and so much so, and this is really true to you being who you are, Michael, but you actually ran a marathon years later with 1.5 lungs. And I'm not even sure, I don't think I could do that with my full capacity of lung. How does one do that?
You'd be surprised. It was a lifelong goal of mine to run a marathon, whether it's with 2 lungs or 1.5. And, I'm a pretty athletic guy, but I'd never run, a marathon. So I did it as a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. I did it, about maybe 5 years after my surgery. Wow. And I got to tell you, because I didn't know what it was like to run a marathon with 2 lungs, I couldn't tell you if it was tougher or easier. I mean, it was fantastic, and
check box, right?
It was a very empowering thing for me. Yeah, unbelievable.
I love it. Now, one of the things that I think is great about your story, and I know it seems weird that I would say there's even a great part of having cancer, but you really found that humor got you through. And one of the things that you came up against was, did you want a prosthetic?
Oh my God!
What was your answer to that? Do you want a prosthetic?
Okay, so God bless my urologist, right? So, the urologist, he flat out said, would you like, a prosthetic? And apparently, I don't know, some guys are self-conscious or whatever, some men do choose to get a prosthetic. And, my thought was, listen, I don't want anyone else poking around down there with surgery, taking stuff in or putting things out. But I don't know. I just found it so hilarious that I was being asked that question and that insurance would have covered it. So I opted to not get the prosthetic, but it was an option if I wanted it.
Well, and you were actually given a couple of different options. Prosthetic, you said no, but you did say yes to having your sperm analyzed. And share with us about that.
Okay, so there's a small percentage of patients when they go through chemotherapy that they become sterile. And so what they recommend is before chemotherapy starts that you bank your sperm if you do want to have kids, which I did want to have kids, in the slim chance that you become sterile through undergoing that intensive chemotherapy. So the ironic thing is insurance wouldn't pay for that, so I had to spend like $1,000, if not more, of my own money to go donate at this sperm bank. And there's nothing glorious about it. You have to produce the sperm somehow. So you're doing it by the thing there. So that was the first time I had to pay that much money to do something like that. But as it turned out, I wasn't sterile. But the irony then is, Nancy, is I had to go back. I think you have to go back like 18 months or 24 months later to check your sperm count levels and stuff like that. So I had to go back 2 or 3 years later, do the same doggone thing so they could check it. But, you get the peace of mind, obviously, that you're not sterile, that your sperm count as a man is correct or whatever. And if I may say, again with humor, the doctor in charge of this fertility clinic, his name was, and again, I cannot make this up, it's Dr. Frankfurter was his name of in charge of the fertility clinic. So
it was meant to be that way. But I wanted to end this interview on that humorous note because cancer changed you a lot as a man, but I think it made you a better version of. And I got to tell you, I'm a better person for having met you. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us and letting us know that even when you do get bad news, that you can bring balance back into your life. You can survive. And I really thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you for having me, Nancy.
Thank you. Have a great day, Michael. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And the moral of the story here is we're all going to get that bad news. I remember the day I was told I'm going to go blind by 40. You know, what 16-year-old wants to hear that? Might be cancer. It might be a breakup. Who knows? But you just have to believe in yourself and your abilities to get through it. That determination, that drive, and most of all, the support of others in our life. When you have those ingredients and you mix them together, now you're able to live life full out. It's going to look different than you may have envisioned, but it might actually be better. And so I want you to think about over the rest of the show, what changes do you need to make in your life to bring balance, to live full out, to really allow yourself to feel the freedom of getting past those challenges and not letting them hold you back. It is never too late. So stay with us. This is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and we'll be right back after this break.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
The following message is about Medicaid and CHIP, free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. Enrollment is open year-round.
Hey, voice lady, give me the mic.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, let's switch up the music. That's better. So listen up, moms and dads out there. There are these programs called Medicaid and CHIP. They offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids. Things like doctor and dentist visits, prescriptions, and shots are covered. All the stuff that keeps kids like me healthy and in charge.
So, as you can tell, a covered kid is a confident kid. And it means confident parents, too. To learn more about affordable health coverage for your family, visit healthcare.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. That's 1-877-543-7669.
Yep, you could do something big for your family today because enrollment is open year-round.
This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And Sophia.
They're gonna jump out of trees. You can't stop them. They'll go down the slide head first. They'll make parachutes out of sheets. They'll balance on things that are impossible to balance on, like the back of a couch or a windowsill or a scooter seat. They'll run with sharp objects. They'll run into walls. They'll climb things that won't hold their weight. They'll put their fingers in places where they could get smashed. They'll drive their tricycles down steep hills. They'll bounce balls off their faces. They'll step on each other. They'll jump on each other. They'll invent whole new ways to put themselves in jeopardy. But one of the most dangerous things kids will do happens while they're sitting perfectly still. Kids who ride in a car without a booster seat are much more likely to suffer serious or fatal injury during a crash than kids in boosters. But amazingly, 80% of all kids who need them aren't in them. After a toddler seat and until they're 4'9" booster kids, and don't let them down.
Go to boosterseat.gov to learn more about the importance of boosters. A message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Have you ever lost a cat? And have you ever wanted to get your cat back after you lost it? I'm Andrew Hoffman. I invented the Lost Cat Magnet. Just turn it on and lost cats stick to it. Just listen to one satisfied cat. That's proof. You should invent stuff too. But remember, don't do a Lost Cat Magnet.
Anything's possible. Keep thinking. Get started on your own inventions or just play some games at inventnow.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the National Inventors Hall of Fame Foundation, and the Ad Council.
We're your pets, and this song's dedicated to those people who don't have health insurance yet. Enroll, we say. We want you to be okay. Enroll, we say. Take care of people for good.
Health insurance is now affordable and covers prescriptions, hospitalizations, and preventive care. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn more.
And take care, people.
Brought to you by Get Covered America and the Ad Council.
To bring balance into your life means that you live full out. And how do you do that? You express yourself emotionally and physically in any way that you need to flush out anger, sadness, stress, cry if you need to. I do sometimes, but yet enjoy, be happy, invite humor into your life. That is how you control and allow yourself to have balance in life. It is never too late.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. Nancy is here as a guide to show you how to rise above obstacles and savor each moment. If you have a question, call in live at 800-333-0001. That's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello, I'm Nancy Solari. Thank you so much again for joining us today. We're talking about how to bring balance into our life. And trust me, it's not a snap. I get it, everybody. There's going to be days that everything goes in the wrong direction and it feels like it's slipping, and you just can't wait for the day to be over. But we all have experienced those butterflies, those sweaty palms, those bouts of laughter that are just uncontrollable. And those are the moments that you live for. And even the times when we're struggling, when we're stressed, those are life-defining moments. You realize how you can survive. You understand patience. Don't look at it like a test. Look at it like you're being carved into the person that you know you want to be. So when you can be positive and just keep looking forward, that's how you're going to bring balance into your life. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for joining us. How can we help you today?
So today I have a question about my significant other. And my significant other has lost his job and been unemployed for a year now. And every single responsibility has landed on me. I just want to know, how should I approach him about wanting to move on with my life to expand my opportunities?
Can I ask you a question? This significant other, is this someone that you want to stay with, maybe long term, or are you looking to transition out of the relationship?
I am looking to transition out the relationship.
Okay. And do you love this person?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You know how you do that? If you really love somebody, you meet them where they are. And you make them better when they have to step up and be better. And you would ask the same for him to do for you. Now, one might say, well, if you really love someone, take care of them. But that's just kind of like a crutch. You know, that's not letting them evolve, not letting them develop. So what you want to say to him is, you know what, I love you to pieces. And I am not leaving your life. But I need to let you bring balance into your life. Find your pride again. Find who you want to be. Because if we're ever going to have a shot down the future, two strong halves make a united whole. If you're a strong half and he's a weak half, then it's kind of like a round melon that's lopsided, right?
Yeah, wow.
So what I want you to consider is the biggest gift that you can give him if you really love him is don't make it an ultimatum. Don't make it an official, dun-dun-dun-dun, we're broken up and I'll see you later, taking my money with me. It's not about that. It's about holding your significant other's hands. And if you cry, you cry. And you just tell them that I need to step back. I need to leave this picture so that you can find yourself and be proud of yourself. But just know I'm not going to be far. You can call me anytime you want. And I'd love to still see you. How does that feel?
That's very, very helpful, actually. That's really something to think about.
Yeah. And when you do it that way, you're not tearing off the Band-Aid. I don't believe in that philosophy. You're putting ointment, Neosporin, you're putting aloe on the wound. You're helping to heal his wounds. And that's the best friend that you could possibly be. And there's no losers. There's no losers because he's not losing you. He hasn't lost you. You're still there. You're just not that crutch anymore.
Exactly.
And I would love for you to call back in, let us know how it goes. And so many audience members listening right now probably have been where you are. I've been where you are. So I know the anxiety and the fear and the sadness that's going to come from that. But you know what? I also see maybe months, a year down the line, you guys going out to lunch and your significant other's like, I got this, because he or she can. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a winning moment. Exactly. Okay, but I so appreciate you calling in, because I really believe that you have the ability to be that mirror for your partner and show him not just who he can be, but that you believe in him.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. And most of all, just hang in there, okay? This time will pass. Okay?
Thank you so much for the advice.
Anytime. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
You too.
And, you know, as we close up today's show, and I really appreciate that last caller calling in, because times when we need to bring balance into our life, it's going to be physical. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be like, how do I even find my way? That is why we're here each week. We want to be your sounding board. We want to give you that motivation. And so if you want to call in, we're here every week. If you want to email us, we'd love to hear from you that way as well. The entire Living Full Out family is dedicated to being here with you to support you. And that's Rich and Roger and Riley and Amanda and Kirsten and so many others that are here, and we will continue to be here. So most of all, believe in yourself. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Get support from others in your life. That's how you bring balance into your life. Most of all, live full out, and just know that you can do it. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Living Full Out Show with Nancy Solari. To learn more about this program, visit livingfullout.com for the latest episodes. Connect with the Living Full Out community by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have an inspirational story you want to share, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. Here's to you, living full out.